Hi guys, welcome to Art Express. I'm Margarita and today we are doing our beginner drawing class. Beginner and not necessarily beginner, because the aspects we are going to cover are quite complex. We're going to go back into discussing perspective, because as we are progressing with sketches, with the drawing of face in different angles, profile, then very soon we will come with you into 3/4, which is the way I'm sitting towards you now, or towards the camera. 3/4 will get very difficult unless we really understand the perspective. So we're going to jump into perspective formula, and we're going to start with the basic of perspective, with one vanishing point. We were doing already with you sketch of the cylinder. Remember to explain to you perspective of the ellipse, of the rounder part on the top or at the bottom of the cylinder. We were looking at the rail tracks and how everything here on the horizontal plane is sitting within those rail tracks, with the distance getting smaller, narrower. And guess where it's all heading? It's heading into the horizon, and it's heading into the vanishing point, which is sitting right on the horizon. That's why we're going to work it out with you in the very simple landscape here, in this picture. We all can see what's happening. There is a road similar to this, leading us towards horizon. And we've got the trees planted along that road, and how they are manifesting their height within perspective. Let's simplify our landscape. Let's get rid of the trees and try and understand what's going on. I'm going to make a little sketch for you, always within the frame, correct? We need a frame which we call composition. Composition is so important. So within that frame, we are creating landscape. We remember the most important, there is a line of the horizon. And very important to know that horizon is always on your eye level. So if I'm sitting right now here on the chair, my horizon will be right in front of my eyes, somewhere far away in the distance. But whatever is sitting on that horizon will come into perspective towards one point on it. So I'm creating horizon here. It can relate to you, or it can relate to the person who is sitting or standing right in the middle of that road. And we are only considering at this stage one person looking at the road, and that person will be right in the middle, because there is only one vanishing point in the center. We're starting with the simplest, as always. If I'm in the middle of that road, somewhere here, the road will come into one vanishing point right in front of me. Here I am. In fact, I will be taller because my eyes should be on the level with this. I'm not, that's my head, let's say imaginative, yeah? So this is my horizon in front of my eyes. So the road will come into the vanishing point on that horizon. Vanishing point, right in the middle. One and only in this scenario, because further in the course we'll be learning about 2 vanishing points, maybe 3, maybe 5. Let's not run too fast. Let's understand this. So we've got the road, we've got vanishing point here on the horizon. What happens next? We've got the trees. The trees are planted along the road. So they are not, let's say, sitting right on the edge. But what's going to happen with the bottom of the trees? The line on which all the trees are sitting will come to the vanishing point. From here, they will grow up. The same on the other side. That's the bottom of the trees. Coming into the same vanishing point. And why? Just because I am right in the middle. Is it me? Maybe somebody else. Doesn't matter. I don't know what this is. Yeah, that's confusing. Then we're going for the top of the trees. When you are on the street or in the center of the town, you see you are in the middle of the road, you're crossing traffic light, you are in the middle. What happens with the buildings on the street? The high-rise buildings, they are all coming into that vanishing point around you. They are all progressively getting smaller and smaller and smaller. The same story happens to my trees. They're coming into the vanishing point. I'm just sketching the top. I'm creating the line where the tree is heading, the top of the trees. See that angle? If I bring my pencil here, it's coming right into the vanishing point. The same here. So we're literally getting letter X, and our horizon is right in the middle, holding it all. And then we're going to sketch our trees. Whatever height, whatever shape we prefer, we are just creating those shapes here. We can even identify the beginning of the branches. I think it will be wise because we want them to be kind of similar proportions. So I'll create one more line here for the end of the trunk and beginning of the branches. Sometimes they overlap each other. And notice also with perspective, the distance between the trees, it's receding. It's narrower, narrower, narrower. The same as our rail tracks. With the distance, everything gets flatter and more connected to each other. So I'm watching that space in between. It needs to get narrower, narrower, narrower. More trees connected, maybe overlapping one another. And then they're becoming really, with the distance, they're becoming like one mess. No definition. So when we, especially working on the painting, we will realize that this is one soft tonal mess receding. But then towards us, it's much more intense. Everything is stronger tonally. More definition and darker, stronger tone. I'm going to get rid of that person because it's a little bit destructive, but we understand the situation, yes? We understand that wherever we are, horizon is, the vanishing point is on the level of our eyes, on the horizon. And that is so important to remember. We will make a note on the video about it, that vanishing point is always on the horizon, on the level of your eyes. Now, I'm creating more trees on that side. See, we identified the trunk should come here, and again, I'm trying to create smaller and smaller space between them. I'll just place the trunks first, and then I'll continue here with the branches and so on. Again, one soft shading in the distance, progressively getting stronger tonally, correct? I'll just fix this side. Stronger, more definition. In order for us to practice a little bit further within that sketch, I'm going to place the bench on that road. We'll pretend this is beautiful park and there is the alley in the park, and Going back to our childhood, we always walked in a park with our parent holding hand, but there is always a bench where we're sitting and talking and we're telling each other stories. So I'm going to draw the bench. All right, the bench. What simple geometrical shape will it remind us of? Would it be cylinder? Would it be ball? Would it be sphere? What is it? Is it triangle? No, this is simply a cube, but not necessarily cube, it's elongated cube, correct? It's basically a shoe box. We can put the bench without the back, yeah? We can just pretend the bench is like flat shoe box, which is in general this. How do I know all those proportions? How do I know, especially without experience, how to draw it and make it look good? Of course, we have to think of perspective. This is the most crucial ingredient. So, all the lines here will be heading towards vanishing point, which is, where is our vanishing point? It is on the horizon, right? That's what we just established with you. What is happening with all the vertical lines? In order for our box to be standing, not shaking, not collapsing, the bench needs to be strong and we are sitting on it. It has to be supported. So all the vertical, the legs of the bench are never going diagonal. They are always completely straight vertical lines. Even inside that particular shape, everything will be, see that line parallel with that, again just straight vertical. I'm connecting the horizontal one, same here, this is horizontal, this is horizontal. Diagonal, only the lines which are heading towards vanishing point. That's the lines which are creating perspective. And guess what happens then? If I'm connecting them and projecting them into the vanishing point on the horizon, it's just so easy to understand that perspective will change not only within horizontal here, see, across. Every line going back is narrower, 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 narrower. Yes, compare this and that and that. Same idea as we established here with ellipse. So I'm not talking about that. It's a little bit trickier also, remember, because my bench is not standing right in the middle. I'm working on the bench which is on the side of the road, correct? We haven't done it yet. So now we've got new concept of that rectangular box. Okay, so I hope it's all clear. We are creating the bench out of the rectangular figure, which is basically a flat box, shoebox. Shoebox is the best exercise for understanding and learning about perspective. And I would love you to practice using shoebox or any cubical object. Because we haven't done formally a cube. We did a ball with you with light and shadow. We did the cylinder, which is very complex. Once you understood the ball, how to do light and shadow on a ball, the cube will be easier. But perspective is another story. So next week, we're actually going to go into cube with perspective with various vanishing point. But now, we're looking at this. And if my box is on the side of the road, I'm going to place it here and I'm going to utilize the understanding we established in that sketch. Everything comes into the vanishing point. All the side lines, inside, outside. All the verticals are standing vertically. All the horizontal ones, they are not on the angle. It could be illusion, but they actually need to be straight. So we're placing our bench here. 2 vertical legs. I'll just go across and then I'll make it into the bench. Then we've got those lines coming into the vanishing point, the diagonals. Do not be afraid of the messy lines or mess. Just create your bench. I'm going to make it like that. Lengths going across. Again, everything horizontal, horizontal, vertical ones, vertical. It could be very big bench in relation to the size of the tree. It could be quite stretched across, but doesn't matter. It's about perspective as long as it comes into the vanishing point. Can you see how beautifully it is sitting on the surface of the road? Wherever I would place it, I can shift it anywhere. It will be fantastic. If I need the bench in the middle, let's give it a go. Imagine there is a road in the middle. It's not an alley, it's not a road, it's just a piazza. So we have one in the middle. I'm creating the line, center line, through the middle of my picture. Through the vanishing point, across horizon, vertical line, center of that road. Then I'm going with the lines coming from the vanishing point down on both sides of my center line. I'm going to place it a little bit further in. It's a big bench, it's a wide bench. So this is my horizontals. See, it's standing a bit further in terms of perspective than that side one. I'm going with my vertical legs. Basically, I need to complete the box for the understanding, but eventually we're going to erase all the extra lines. All the lines going into the vanishing point are just for our understanding and learning purposes. But once we will get rid of them, we will have our beautiful benches. And then once we're actually on the way to completion, we can get rid of all the lines we don't need. Or we can trace that picture and create it into the painting, into something like that, with sunset and shadows and all that. I'll just go over that bench and make it maybe a little bit more interesting. I'm getting my fine liner and making that old-fashioned wrought iron bench with the timber planks going into the vanishing point, each of them creating the back of the seat. Again, timber planks, nothing spontaneous, everything goes into the vanishing point. And now your homework. I would love you to create another bench on the right hand side. I would love you to complete this one, or maybe don't have one in the middle, but practice with placing different benches in different areas of that road. Maybe make your sketch bigger, maybe take A4 size for that exercise, for this exercise. You will get that picture in your video. Create for me the sketch of that, just pencil. You can use 3B, you can use 4B, soft, comfortable pencil will be fantastic. Find the vanishing point and practice all those relationships between large object going into perspective and basically disappearing into the vanishing point. It's a lot of fun. I would love you to understand and secure it in your memory forever, and that will allow us to go further and further and further and learn more and build up beautiful skills in the drawing. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy your drawing.